What is that supposed to happen?
The recording has started, just to let you know.
Okay, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the January 10th REMAC meeting. The first meeting of the year. Welcome, and I guess we'll go through the roll call and then we'll start.
When I call your name, please say present. Grace Cassiola.
Present.
Present.
Dr. Hoffman. Dr. Gonzalez. Dr. Iceman.
Yeah, present.
Dr. Wise excused. Dr. Alexander.
Present.
Dr. Isaacs.
I'll be his alternate.
Kevin Ward.
There's an alternate for Doug and for Pam. So if you guys could just state your names.
Yep, Devin Howell, Howell.
That'll be for Doug, and then
Adrian Codorello, last name Cotarello. For Dr. Wall.
those are the two EMS fellows.
Anna Marie Giudetti. Leah McEachin. Burke. Dr. Raybridge. Dr. Caserco. Dr. Caldwell. Dr. Berkowitz. Dr. Marshall.
Here.
Dr. Redlener.
Here.
Dominic Bettinelli. Stephen Renton. Dr. Schenker.
Here.
Michael Batch. Robert Acker. Dr. Bowe.
Present.
Sean Graves.
Here.
Dr. Cooper.
Present.
Dr. Winchell. Dr. Jarvis. Dr. Cantor. Dr. Krupe.
Here.
Dr. Foote. Dr. Iacopoli.
I saw her in the building.
Dr. Kessler.
That's me.
Dr. Fink. Dr. Carter. Eric Cohen. Dr. Majal.
Present.
Ms. Willis.
Present.
Dr. Mancy. Dr. Harris. Dr. Van Voorhees. Here. Dr. Zabar.
Here.
Dr. Barber.
Present.
Dr. Benelli.
Here.
Dr. Wire.
Here.
Dr. Langston. Dr. Chalice.
Confirm that we have a quorum, we'll get going. Okay, correspondence report, Marie. So, email and then you wanted to. That's all we read.
Let me just read the correspondence book and I'll read that email.
Just before we get to the correspondence report, has anybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting? Any questions, concerns, comments, issues? Hearing none, we'll accept the minutes and move on to the correspondence report.
Membership emails were received from the following individuals saying they would not be able to attend. Yadidja Langsam, Kemerly, Mark Cantor. Enforcement actions from the Department of Health. John Kirk from Ramsey, New Jersey, EMT 452719. New York State EMT certification suspended for 1 year. Has to take a refresher course within 1 year and a civil penalty of $2,000. Timothy Rogers from Staten Island, EMT 464925, EMT certification suspended for 1 year effective December 5th. Suspension is stayed, but he must complete a full refresher within 1 year. Civil penalty of $4,000. Gets better. Michael Sudol from Mass Beth, New York, EMT 437228. New York State EMT certification revoked as of December 21st. Assessed a civil penalty of $10,000. That's the highest I've ever heard. But if any of these 3 people work for you, speak to them. Enforcement actions for both providers and agencies can be viewed on the New York State DOH website. And it's in your minutes. If you need the link, just call us. Plenty of CME training. CUNY Borough of Manhattan Community College has a paramedic refresher. It's a 100-hour hybrid CCT course. It's going to be held February 26th through March 1st. It's also sent out to everyone and should be posted on our website. Jamaica Hospital has call review. Well, it was held on December 9th. Mount Sinai also has CME on December 15th, and New York Pres on December 8th had the critical role of EMS and neurological emergencies. We received a communication from Greater New York. Everybody knows about the strike that's going on, and they are staffing the NYC Emergency Management Situation Room, as are many agencies, including fire department, REMSCO. We've been on the calls. There's not much for us to do unless they have a contract for our private companies. And we received information that the Staten Island University Hospital's online medical control facility has switched sites. New York Presbyterian Queens is designated as a thrombectomy stroke center. I thought they already were, but we sent out agendas, minutes, and associated attachments, and REMAC advisories 2208 for the protocol medication list. Another guidance on the regional learning system, which we'll get some more information about that later in the meeting. A protocol update with key points. And then the final unified protocols for 2023 that are implemented March 1st. Actually, the ones that are up there now, the Dr. Liza group did find 1 or 2 typos that are being corrected, and they'll be posted tomorrow. New York City Department of Health and Hygiene's health advisory about the xylazine and fentanyl in New York City, and mutual aid requests were made to private ambulance companies at the request of NYSEM. We did that, sent out. Okay. The other email that I received was from RTAC. We had discussed, I don't know if it was last meeting or the previous meeting, a letter that was supposedly drafted and went out from RTAC about the trauma system in New York. And the RTAC asks that the interpretation that was made here was not really correct, and they've done an updated letter that they would like to share with this committee to get input on it. And their attempt was to collaboratively strengthen the New York City trauma system. So they want to work with the committee, and after this meeting, I'll speak with the chair, and whoever is interested in receiving the draft letter that wants to have input into it, please contact me.
All right, I think it's important that we all have a chance to see that letter and comment on it.
Share that with us, that would be great.
Yeah, we'll share it with the whole REMAC. But again, I appreciate their correspondence, but until we see it and until we can review it for ourselves, it begs the question why it was sent out to all these agencies as a draft for review when it doesn't sound like it was really prepared for review at that point. Any questions on the correspondence or any comments? Okay. Hearing none, the executive committee did not meet. There were some email exchanges about the typographical nature of some of the errors and whether an advisory needed to go out, and due to the fact that it's just housekeeping, no advisory, additional advisory was sent out, but the protocols were updated to be clear and appropriate. Let's begin with our subcommittee reports. We'll start with Dr. Barbara, CNC.
The Credentialing and Certification Committee met last on December 22nd, virtually. Thank you to everyone who attended. The themes of our meeting persist in the launch of the new learning management system and the associated expansion of credentialing and the modifications to the system. We have a robust multidisciplinary group of leaders working on this, so I'm speaking on behalf of several people, and I don't want to forget anyone, but this is a very team-based approach to this launch, and there's slight delays that are external to this body due to third-party learning management system becoming acclimated to our needs. And we are very confident that the final product will be as seamless as it can be on the initial launch, with likely modifications throughout the year and so on. We can discuss the key points of the meeting in detail, but essentially the extension of the existing process will be out till March 1st. That's due to unexpected delays. So the people who are remaining to be credentialed from now until March 1st will continue along the typical process. And we're hoping that the LMS is fully integrated and has a full thickness efficacy by before that March 1st time, so we can almost have a transition point at some time in that January, February period. We have the first regional updates ready to go. Where's Mr. Lax? They are too close, I couldn't see you. With some small modifications so that the process is seamless. The protocol updates were done in a video format, highly entertaining video format. So we feel very good that this will be a great way for adult education to be transmitted in this remote format, as opposed to clicking through another PowerPoint slide deck from home while you watch episodes of your favorite TV show. For those candidates that are outliers, we still are going to be handling them on a case-by-case basis. And we're basically moving forward in a very iterative fashion and responding to all the unexpected trials of changing the entire system. So our next meeting is January 13th, virtually, this Friday. If anyone wants to attend, please let me know. But I do want to open that committee report to Morty, Joe Ranieri, Kevin, anyone else who's here has been participating in this process. If I misspoke. And Kevin?
I'll just add the medics that were expiring January and February. We're given extensions till March 1st to give them an opportunity to do the regional update and refresh, but in the new CME-based process. It was 50 medics total for the 2 months combined. That's basically it on that end. As far as the exam goes, the exam, basic exams, it's not using a refresher anymore, the original exam. We're in the process of swapping out the questions that no longer apply to base them on the new protocols. That should be ready as well for March 1st.
Morty,
Yeah, so we covered most of it. It's been an interesting journey. Probably a 6-month program here. We believe that we'll be able to flip the switch by the end of this week. Some of the delays, as you heard Dr. Barber, had to do with the vendor. One of the delays was making sure that we had the entire CME process up and running on there in addition to the update, so that once we flip the switch, it was just live and ready to go in its entirety. So those that needed to refresh, while everybody else has access to the updates. So the updates are actually at the vendor now. They should be completely uploaded by the end of the day tomorrow or the next day. And I'm hoping Friday, at the latest Monday, we'll be able to turn everything on. Joe Ranieri has spent I don't even know how to describe adequately the amount of time that he put into the back end of this with some of the training ed folks and the vendor to make sure that it was really going to be ready to do what we needed it to do with hopefully little glitches that will happen once we do flip that switch. He has spent a good amount of time training all of the agencies, training coordinators who are going to need to play a big role in the process of moderating their providers' CME uploads. And that probably was the last holdout, was making sure that we got the rest of the agency providers. That's basically it. To summarize it, which basically covers my report, other than that training ed is going to be participating with the Department of Health, EMS for children, and the pediatric and adolescent education for EMS program. Don't expect any major. That's it. Report's done.
I just want really Joe to be able to speak if he has anything to say. Do you have anything to say, Joe? I mean,
the only thing I'll add to that is just adding to what Morty said. Pretty much for all the large ALS agencies in the region have had their training coordinators attend one of our regional trainings. I would follow up with some of your some of the operations folks in your agency. Make sure that they've gotten their training coordinators signed up. There's one of the large hospital systems has yet to do so. So we really don't want them getting left behind. And also U.S. medical directors should consider requesting access to the system as well. Because at the end of the day, it's you signing the CME letter, so that this way you can keep track of what's going on within your agencies. So I've designed it so that you can have that kind of access and gather the information that you need.
and I would preemptively nominate Joe for a Lifetime Achievement Award for what he's done. And, you know, we talked about this change years ago, and we've had so many people that are going to bear, you know, the merits of this and the removal of the refresher exam as the bane of everyone's existence in the region. But I can tell you that this lift, the square shoulders of Joe Ranieri are what did this lift. And I'm thankful to everyone who's been participating, but I can tell you the watershed moment was really having Joe really take a key part in this. So I really do appreciate it. I want to just take a second to just thank you and the rest of the people who put this through.
All right, so just for clarity for everybody, the expectation is that all providers in the region, regardless of their agency, do their update, their protocol updates and their continuing updates through this LMS. Right? Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. That was my understanding. Any questions from Paul? Okay. Any questions from Morty? Because I guess the training and education report we just made. So
Yeah, pretty much. I did the last little piece is that I sent 2 draft advisories to Marie so that they're ready to go. And that switch is ready to be flipped. It's got links and it, along with more work that Joe Ranieri did in tutorial videos, so people know how to use everything.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, we'll move then, if there are no questions or comments, we'll move to medical standards. Dr. Benelli.
Yes, so medical standards met on January 3rd at the new time of 3 p.m. in order to accommodate more participation. The meeting was short. There are no action items that are being brought forward to REMAC for discussion or for approval.
Excellent.
The next meeting is on February 6th.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Benelli? How did you do that? That's my question.
Has that ever happened before?
Right, exactly.
Historic event.
Okay. Next, Dr. Redlener, QA/QI.
Thanks, Joe. For the Quality Improvement and Quality Assurance Committee, we did not meet between them the last meeting and this. We did have a meeting with the chairs of both REMSCO and CMAC to discuss kind of the reconvening of the group. There's some logistics questions that have been challenging, as well as the need for several members to join that committee. So we're in the process of retooling that and plan to meet in the next month before the next REMAC meeting to reinstitute, like bring everybody together again. I think that there were some challenges over the last couple of months that we hope to resolve. And then, I think the goal for the next 6 months is really to get our First Watch project up and running, clearly helpful to the way that we do quality improvement in the region over the next couple of months. So we will work on that as well as any other projects that are on our plate. So thanks, that's it.
Any questions for Dr. Redline? Okay, hearing none. Dr. Berkowitz isn't here, and was there any discussion? Yeah, sure.
At the last QA meeting, or it was discussed outside of meeting, we talked about new members. Right now, we're looking for positions. They have to be REMAC members or REMSCO members. We need 2 positions, 1 nurse, and 1 paramedic. So I'm throwing it out here, and then we'll be announcing it also at REMSCO. And if you know anyone, or if you are interested, please send us in your resume.
I'll do a little recruitment. I mean, it's an exciting time to be in quality improvement. There's going to be a lot happening in the region. There's going to be a lot happening at the state, which I can talk about. But I think that the way we use data now is changing the way we do quality improvement. And it's really a lot of fun. I think it's cutting edge. It should be, we should get some good people thinking through what we need to do for the region.
Thank you. Okay, the interfacility tag, I don't know if they met, but Dr. Berkowitz is not here, so I guess we'll table it to the next meeting. RTAC, is there anybody here from RTAC that would like to give a report other than the correspondence that we received? Okay, see none. Regional Council update. Dr. Langston isn't here. Dr. Krupi, can you handle?
Yeah, I think we presented.
We didn't have a quorum.
Oh, no, quorum. Okay, yeah. I don't have a report in front of me. I mean, the 2 most significant things that I could mention is that the protocols that we brought to the state were all approved. Okay, and the second thing, there were 2 appeals that have been out there for a long time. Okay, waiting for resolution that they get resolved. Okay, one was the appeal by Bay Community, okay, the block REMSCO's approval for the expansion, okay, for Go Back, the Glen Oaks volleys, okay, and the SEMSCO actually ruled in favor, okay, of our REMSCO, okay, in their decision, okay, so that expansion, okay, of Go Back will go forward. And the other appeal involved the dispute between Forest Hills, okay, and Ridgewood, okay, and happily that got resolved, okay, between both of them, and the state is really happy about that. They sat down together and rather than block one of those expansion, they said, we'll split it, okay, we'll both cover it. Okay, so I thought that was actually a really, really good ending, especially in light of what happened with Go Back and in big communities. It's nice for people to sit down, okay, and work out these problems for themselves.
So just for clarity for the recording, that was not the regional council update. That was because there was no quorum. That was the CMAC update,
Right, yes,
which is much appreciated. Thank you. And Dr. Marshall, do you want to add anything for the CMAC update? Anything else you can think of?
No.
Okay. So hearing nothing else, is anybody any unfinished business? Because I might be able to get us out of here in about 20 minutes. I don't have any unfinished business. Any new business?
One little request.
Yes.
I can ask, once the system is up and running, if we can get some participation from physicians to put some CME up on the LMS, it'll go a very long way.
That sounds great. Okay, so hearing no additional new business.
Just one thing, I think Dr. Benelli and I have been working with the ECMO committee along with the folks from AHA and from some of the hospitals. Just as you all know, that we passed the pilot project protocols, I think a couple of REMACs ago, and we're in the process of taking the next step. So what we're looking to do is really build the education for the pilot project around, and we're going to come up with a training plan and elements about what has to happen on the EMS side, and then get agreement through the hospital CEO letters to make sure that the hospitals that have said that they're going to participate will be participating. So that's moving forward, and we'll, I would imagine, report out at future REMAC meetings.
I did give an update in medical standards. So, that's okay.
Okay. Any other new business? Okay, seeing none, I can't believe I'm saying this already, but I'll